harvesters there. He didn't lose any harvesters. So NvComm in great shape still, not taking too much damage from these drops. And really, LiquidJinro is losing a ton of units to these drops and these harasses. And the whole time, NvComm's been losing a few harvesters here and there, but no army, really. So the supply count is favoring NvComm because of that. I mean, it's really easy to replace those drones. They're cheap, and he's got tons of larvae, tons of injection. He's even got in-base hatches. So replacing drones is not an issue. It's military that's valuable at this point, like especially these muta. So really, LiquidJinro needs to start massing military instead of losing them to these ineffective drops. NvComm is too good at defending these. He's shutting them all down, so it's a waste of resources on LiquidJinro's part. I mean, don't get me wrong, being active on the map is great, but I think he needs to do things that are more favorable, like pushing back this creep. You can do that pretty easily without taking heavy losses, and yeah, just setting up NvComm into positions where he's forced to push against like a siege tank line. Do as much damage as you can for a little cost. And that's really what Jinro needs to be doing. He's trying to macro against the Zerg. He's being outbased. He is, however, he's got this third down and protected. He needs to be thinking about taking his fourth. A bunch of banelings and lings here. I don't think they're going to be able to get in and do too much damage due to the siege tanks and the PF. But it looks like LiquidJinro is pushing up the map now. He is destroying that creep like I was talking about. It is very good to be doing this. Lots and lots of lings for NvComm. His banelings are coming in here, and like I said, not going to be able to do anything, but Jinro's not paying attention. Ooh, one baneling gets in and kills a couple units, but not a big deal. These muta are trying to harass the siege tanks, but Marines denying that. A couple Marines did go down for Jinro, and the siege tank creep has begun. A couple Marines here to defend the siege tank flank. This position, like this progressive siege creep, is so good from Jinro. Thor on the high ground to protect against those muta. Siege tanks on the high ground as well. A drop going. Jinro's thinking two-prong all over the place. Marines defending the front siege tank line and the back. Now the drop commences on the hive. If he can snipe this hive, that would be so key. Gets a couple overlords. Infestation pit would also be key. Jinro's army is gonna get slaughtered by a big push, but his positioning is great. He's doing a lot of damage, picking his Marines up in the medevacs. Great play. Those banelings kind of flop around before they actually meet their target. Jinro did so much damage. Gonna get the Ultralisk Den 2. Oh, no, he goes for the Greater Spire instead. So he does get the Greater Spire, which means no Broodlords. And oh my goodness, what a great play by Jinro. His army, cost for cost, did so much damage, and really destroying the tech. So there is still Ultralisks out. That Ultralisk cavern did not go down. So we are going to see Ultralisks from NvComm, and with the larva he has, he can produce so many lings. So we need to see those Blue Flame Hellions for LiquidJinro again. Will he choose to go that direction? I don't know, but he needs Marauders. Blue Flame Hellions, he needs some sort of... He doesn't really need anti-air yet because he did snipe that Spire. And with the heavy Ultralisk production that we're seeing from NvComm, we probably won't see any mutas. He's probably done with that tech path for now. We're not even seeing another Spire being produced. So, yeah, I'd like to see Jinro, you know, keep up the siege tank production good, but switch to Marauders and get those Blue Flame Hellions out for the lings, because he's going to have so much trouble dealing with this. The siege tanks aren't going to be able to shoot at all the targets. And these drops are really starting to work, almost getting that Ultralisk pit, or cavern. And now the drops are really starting to work. He's going to work on this gold. This needs to be a PF, or he's going to have too much trouble holding it. A big two-pronged attack, so defending, but also attacking at the same time. This is the kind of play that you need to be doing as Zerg. You have so many units, and yes, they're cheap and can't take an army face on, but the mobility and map control you are capable of as Zerg is key in winning your matches. So he did not do anything with these right away. He does see this medevac coming in here. He doesn't know if it's full or not, probably, but he is denying these two bases, which is, this is important, because the Zerg player does need to be ahead in economy. And I think Jinro tagged him to pull him up the ramp with an S. Yeah, it looks like that's what happened. And because these were not hold position, a bunch of them ran up to the death. And but yeah, no, the Zerg player is denying these 2 bases from Jinro very nicely, and he is also taking his own. He's going to be taking his 5th base. So Jinro on 4, and so really, like I said, Zerg needs to be ahead of base. He's now just catching up. So really interesting game from both these players. I'm really glad I found this replay. And a couple Lings, yeah, small army. I don't agree with this from NvComm. Oh, but they do get the surround on the siege tanks. SCV is trying to get in here and repair, but the PF is going to be doing so much damage. He needs to pull his SCVs and repair this PF. Oh, that was so scary. But yeah, no, Jinro, he's in a good position here. And I don't agree with NvComm's small little dinky attacks here and there. He does have a Spire up, so mutas are going to be coming back out. Jinro must have got the first Ultralisk Cavern because there's a new one over here, and I missed that guy, so I apologize for that. But NvComm definitely committing to those Ultralisks. He's because he's rebuilt the Ultralisk Cavern, and it looks like a big death ball of Ling Baneling Muta. It's so hard for Terran to deal with, and this drop, he can't even get up. He can't even pick up and get out. Because of the Muta will just kill the Medivacs. So the Medivac's trying to get out of there, trying to retreat to the army. It'd be nice if he's going to stim and get a couple of those Muta. Nice play. I wish he had set himself up to do that earlier, though. Scanning the creep to try and get rid of some tumors. This is going to be he's in a bad position. Jinro not where he wants to be. So he needs to siege up these tanks, and he needs to do it fast. Ultralisks coming in everywhere. Siege tanks spread out beautifully. What control from Jinro. I am so impressed. Splitting up his Marines all over the place. Siege tanks on the high ground. This PF will be fine. And the Marines, he needs to back up these Marines. And wow, what a scary push from NvComm. But what great control and great just everything from Jinro there. Beautiful play by both players. And it was smart to pull back and save these 2 Ultralisks. They will regenerate on the creep and hopefully be close to full health by the next engagement. Jinro needs to take... He's getting 2 command centers here. One will probably just be a static defense PF, and the second one should be an expansion. He needs to take his 5th soon. A little bit of a stutter there. Getting to be a long game, and but this is, I have to say, one of my favorite long games. I tend to get bored at a game that lasts more than 20 minutes, but this game has been pretty non-stop action. I'm enjoying this game a lot, so I hope you guys are too. A little bit of a lull here. Both these players active on the map. Another drop, denying so many drones. Oh my goodness, Jinro getting out of there with his medevac, gonna drop on the low ground. There are a bunch of spine crawlers that'll probably kill the Marines as they drop. Look at that. The 2 spine crawlers one-shot the Marines. So not a good decision from Jinro there. That is completely a waste of Marines. Picking them up. Coming over here, Banelings here though, and I don't know where the Muta are. He must have lost all his Muta. But these Marines are spending his Banelings, so that cost for cost was a good play. When those Marines start to kill the Banelings, the Marines are cheaper than the Banelings, so worth it, totally worth it. Now these Muta are going to pick off the Medevac. What is this Medevac doing? Unloading to try and kill some of these Muta, and he's actually getting kills here, which is impressive. Wow! These Marines are 3-2, so they did tons of damage to the Muta that aren't upgraded at all. So we are seeing more Ling, more Baneling from NvComm, and lots of Ultralisks. And Jinro really needs to cater his army to Ultralisk defense. Getting this PF, that'll help for sure. It'll keep the Ultralisks busy. I'd be curious to see whether... here's the engineering bay. Does he have... He does not have the structure armor. I would really like to see... Jinro get that structure armor because it makes PFs last so much longer. It can stall Ultralisks for so long, and he's elevatoring up his Marines onto this high ground, using his opponent's high ground for siege tanks to defend against any kind of push that comes through here, which I think is brilliant. Scanning the army so he understands the positioning of it, and Muta coming in, but the Marines are going to be able to kill those Muta. Marines over here taking out his opponent's base while the army comes pushing down here. This PF will be able to do so much damage. He needs to repair it. Banelings crashing into the PF, and siege tanks shelling the Ultralisks. Marines pulling back. The Banelings break through. So many Ultralisks for NvComm, and I don't know if Jinro will be able to hold this off. Siege tanks still on the high ground, and they're running straight through to deny this base here. So he's gonna have to repair this, and this is all that matters to NvComm. He has to deny his opponent's 5th. Because Jinro is slowly becoming mined out. Jinro's going to lose all these harvesters, coming up here and checking for a 6th base, but there's nothing there. These Ultralisks devour everything Jinro owns, and these siege tanks are going to get run over if they're not careful. They're going to get intercepted, sieging up too late, and getting devoured by the Ultralisks. He needs Banshees, he needs Marauders, he needs something to deal with this, and the Ultralisks is going to trample everything Jinro has. And he was not prepared for this many Ultralisks. The PF was a good play, but like I said, that armor upgrade would have done so much for him. And can he stop this? This is doing way too much damage, and he's going to lose all his bases. He uses a siege tank unsieged to block the ramp. I like that. And he's trying to deny this the best he can. Siege tanks here and Marines on the high ground. He's doing a lot of damage to these Ultralisks, but they will break through. There are no SCVs here, a couple left. They could have repaired those siege tanks and make them last a little bit longer. And we're seeing more Ultralisks coming up here, going to get shelled by the PF and DPS down by the Marines. So not a huge deal. However, he is losing a lot of his production up here. These Ultralisks are doing their job, paying for themselves. 11 kills here, 8 kills here, 7 kills here, 8 kills there, and 11 kills there. We're not even talking about the Ultralisks that have already died. So, just destroying Jinro's production. He needs to deal with this. He needs to deal with it now. And Marine Medevac is a good decision. However, yeah, okay, so that was interesting. If the Ultralisks get close, he can pick them up in the Medevac and move them. So, once again, great control from Jinro. He's dealing with this the best he can. A lesser player would have died to that, or GG'd right then and there. Lots of Lings coming out, picking off siege tanks. These siege tanks are going to siege too late, and they're going to die to Lings, which is so frustrating as a Terran player. The Gold Expo almost mined out, and wow, just this is an epic game. So this base is gone and missing. Long distance mining to his 5th, and his 5th isn't even saturated. Now bringing all his harvesters over here to mine it, but it's in a remote location. It's hard to defend for NvComm, and LiquidJinro will be able to drop this location, or even Viking land it. So this is evident that he is maybe switching into some starport play. No, maybe not. He's replacing his production, getting another command center, getting another factory, trying to pull himself back into this game. And the Zerg player is mined out at all these bases. Look at this, he's on one base. And Jinro going to come in here, going to get all these harvesters. The Zerg player cannot replace his army, and Jinro's still sitting on somebody. And GG from NvComm. LiquidJinro takes this game. What a great game. Oh my goodness. Whew. That was a great game, guys. Thanks for sticking through it if you have. If you haven't, well, this is a game you should have watched. So, I'm Mr. Ascending Carnum. You're watching StarCraft Inc. Please come back later for other games like this one. See you guys.